Hi, Amy.
Happy.
We just watched 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 11. What'd you think?
I thought it was another one of those non-episode episodes, misplaced excitement and confusion, I think.
Okay.
Did we watch the same episode?
No. No, because I found that there was quite a lot that we were delivered in this episode, and I was really happy to see how some things were unfolding. I thought it was mostly about failure, how all of the couples are facing failure in some form or another, and how they approach that inevitable end with their eyes, for the most part, firmly shut.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair assessment. This is why I like talking things through with you, because my initial assessment may be wildly off the mark until we actually start talking about it, and then my opinions actually come into fruition.
Oh, well, happy to help. Let's do a 1 and 2 before we dive in. 1, rate, review, and follow us wherever you listen to the podcast, and 2, watch the podcast on YouTube at 90 Day Fiancé, honestly. We start with Pattiya and Dylan this week. She has only been there for 1 week. Not a lot of time.
No, again, this timeline is just all over the map. Like with the different couples, some have been there a couple days, some have been there a couple weeks, some of them seems like it's been years just to get an update.
What did you think of
Strange
Dylan
timeline.
and Pattiya's date at the Irish pub?
Well, I thought it was strange that she told his friend that her and his mom get along. That was
Yeah.
a rich lie. But I really didn't pay too much attention to it. I just know she wasn't a fan of the
When I saw the pub initially, I thought, oh, is this where Dylan does his strip show? And is he about to break out into one to regale us all with what it is that he does? But no, instead he does some surprise singing and guitar playing, which was quite sweet and tender. I thought it was a nice, touching moment for the couple to share. She seemed to really enjoy the song, ended up in tears.
Normally, when people try to serenade their partners like that, it's extremely, extremely cringy. I thought that he actually did a really good job. It sounded like it was heartfelt, and obviously she felt it. So I did think it was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was quite sweet. The only thing that I noticed at the pub other than that was that the friends were asking, what are the difficulties that you guys are having right now? Which was a great question to ask for why they aren't getting married yet, or if marriage is even on the table. But nobody answered it. And I want to know. This is a really important question. Very dissatisfying.
Yeah, it seems strange that production wouldn't allow them to respond to that question. Though I also wonder if they did respond and it was just edited out. I'm not sure, but I was also anticipating the question, how does he open up to his friends? What exactly is he telling them versus what he's telling his mom? We
Yeah.
don't really have any checks and balances for the accuracy and consistency of the stories that he's telling, because we don't know.
Yes. And we seem to have a very unreliable narrator in Dylan in the next scene when they go to dinner at his mom's house. This was something else. I mean, Pattiya at the beginning definitely does not like mom. And I think there's even argument to say she doesn't like mom by the time she leaves either. But she puts on this performance, which is so awful. And mom does too.
Both of them
But it
were very performative. Oh, look at this view. I'm like, it's a one-syllable word, and you have now made it 4. The words that are coming
she
out of your mouth are not believable at this point.
She lays it on so thick. And it must be so awkward for Jo, Dylan's mom, because she knows that there's this weirdness between them. She can feel it. And yet Pattiya is ostensibly being so nice and so complimentary towards mom. And like, ugh, I think if we had been there, if we had been able to feel the tension in the room, we would have wanted to run for the hills, because it must have been like fingernails on a chalkboard to listen to both of them.
That's when you grab the bottle of champagne and you go sit on the back deck. Just get out of that room, man. Get out of that room.
It really felt like each of them was trying to outdo the other to be awarded the nicest, sweetest person award. It's just, ugh. I don't know how Dylan was handling it, how he stomached the whole thing, but I thought it was great that they did attempt the honest conversation during dinner. What is going on? Who said what? Why is there this tension between Joe and Pattia?
Was it the right call to have that conversation with all the parties involved? Probably. It just seemed kind of awkward. This entire dinner was awkward, even though it looked delicious. But I don't know. Was it the right time? Would there be a better time? I don't have the answers for the questions that are coming out of my mouth.
I think it was the right time because this is fairly in Patia's
Oh,
move to Australia. Yeah. So better face it now rather than later and try to put it to bed. It was the way that it unfolded that I found so perplexing and confusing. Did Dylan actually say these things to Pattia? Is Pattia making it up? Did Dylan make it up? Is mom making it up? Who is telling the truth here? Because they could all three be lying, or just one of them, or two of them. It's totally unclear. Even Dylan, in his post interview, says he's not sure if he actually told Pattia the things that she says he told her, i.e.,
I
mom doesn't like you.
I got the feeling that he did say it, and
Okay.
he's just failing to take accountability for it. Seemed as though it was almost like a passive, "Oh, I may have said it. May have. I have." You did. You
Yeah.
did say it. And he also said he could have said it, like, during an argument or something. Like, "Oh, that's lovely. Throw that vitriol in your girlfriend's face.
Yeah.
That's gonna make things a lot better."
Why would you choose to set your mom against your girlfriend? This is something I don't understand at all for their dynamic. If you're in an argument and you want to really hurt your partner for some reason, saying that your mom wouldn't have chosen her as your girlfriend because she's older and that she wanted somebody for you that you could have kids with. Eh? Really? It just, for me, it didn't sit well. I didn't feel like it was honest. So that's why I was totally confused as to who would have actually said this and why.
Well, I think his level of dishonesty became abundantly clear during this dinner. I
Yeah.
can't imagine how Patia felt when she found out that she was eating kangaroo.
There was that too, yeah. That was quite a shock.
Yeah, I
I
felt
don't
really bad for her.
Me too, I don't ascribe to the, "Oh, let's pretend this meat is something that it isn't in order to get the person to eat it, and then partway through, we're gonna reveal what the flesh of the animal actually is." No.
She's not a
Deceitful.
3-year-old who's just refusing to eat anything other than chicken fingers and fries. This is a grown woman who gets to make her own decisions, and you took that decision away from her.
Excellent point. Yeah, yeah. The only good part of Dylan's behavior I found was that he did apologize to the women. He did not make things worse by provoking either of them by saying, "Oh, I didn't say that," or turning it on either his mom or Patia. He just said, "Well, I may have said that, and I do apologize," all of which ends up moving things forward in a positive direction. And I really, really hope that it does work out for them.
I agree. I thought it was great that he actually apologized very specifically for what he may or may not have done, but it was more, "If I did say this, I am very sorry. You did say it." It'll be interesting to see what happens with this couple
Yeah,
moving forward.
yeah. Shall we read on?
Yes.
Oh, great. So now it's Manon and Anthony.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh boy, I have many, many comments.
Go on.
I also did some research because I started asking questions of myself that I really wanted the answers to. Okay, so this focuses on them going house hunting. They still have the rental car, so it seems like it's fairly soon after that dinner party, which may have been the night before or day before. Anyway, they're going to go see a house which they might buy. Question
Hmm.
number one, with what money? Now,
Yes.
we recall from the first introduction that they were selling their house and that they had amassed about $70,000 US from the sale of that house. Then a few episodes later, we found out that that was actually reduced to $40,000 after they paid their medical bills and the loan on their car. So the fact that they're going around in this episode saying we have 100,000 US to put as a down payment on this house
In cash.
in cash, when in fact the last time we checked with them it was only 40, gave me pause. Somebody's lying.
Where did this
It,
money come from?
it could be that the parents decided to generously donate money, but I find that very hard to believe given that the parents live in a modest house. They don't seem to have a lot of money to throw around. If that was the case, I'm sure Manon and Anthony would have said, "Oh, by the way, mom and dad contributed $60,000 US, which is about maybe 50,000 euros, and now we could buy a house." No, none of that was mentioned. It was just, "We have this amount, so this is our budget." Go to $375,000 budget or euro budget, excuse me, and they have approximately 25% as a down payment. Say, no, you don't.
Yeah, the money wasn't making any sense to me. Where does this come from? The lack of explanation was questionable, and I also recalled all the numbers that you did. So I'm very curious to know where this money came from. I was also
Mhm.
curious to know why she was so excited about the house before they even got there when she said that she was going to be the stoic one. She was going to network and she was going to negotiate. It's not going to bode well for you when you walk in and you just start clapping and you're just like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. I love this. Do you think that the realtor's really going to work with you when he knows how much you love the house?
Absolutely. I felt that way as well. But then when they sat down at the table and he said, in fact, there's this asbestos problem, and so that's going to cost 40,000 euros. We're going to knock that off the top of the cost. That left them so much more room to negotiate. I thought that was brilliant. So even though it was not a good strategy to be over the top as far as her enthusiasm for the place, I found like it kind of worked in her favor because he was completely upfront. He was like noticing, oh, it may be that I have a sale here. Let me just be upfront with the particulars about the roof and the further discount on the price in order to entice them a little bit more.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Though I also think that this would have also been the opportunity for Manon to consider, like, sure, you get the discount of the fixing of the roof with the asbestos, but what about the amount of time it's going to take in order to finish it? Are you going to stay with your parents? Are you going to have to get a hotel or something? Would there be any room for negotiating some sort of displacement fee and or like um a later closing date? You know, we close after the renos have been completed, but we didn't see any of that. So I'm really not sure where this is going to land.
Well, I feel like it was all just for show. I feel like there was
Mhm.
not an ounce of truth in any of this. It was just a fun thing for them to do to entertain us for one episode. The money doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense when you look at the fact that neither one of them has a job right now, or at least a full-time job, because Manon does have some kind of income from her online, whatever, social media stuff. You need to have a verifiable and consistent form of income in order to secure a mortgage, and neither one of them has that. So it would take a year, 2 or 3 even before they could tell the bank, okay, this is my employer and this is how much I earn. And you can see that I've been doing that for a year and a half. None of this is real.
Yeah.
This is not
And
how mortgages work.
she also didn't mention whether or not her parents would co-sign for the mortgage, whether that was even a possibility. And I can see her parents offering and I can see her telling them to shove it because they've been such shitty parents and they don't support anything that she does. And then just whining about not having the money to actually be able to do it. I think there was absolutely no forethought before they actually started looking at houses.
Yeah.
And why are you buying instead of renting? I mean, I know the pros and cons for, renting versus buying. However, with, the thoughts around you wanting to move out of your parents' house sooner, would it not make more sense to get a cheaper apartment? But oh my God, she's not getting an apartment. Um, Whatever. I feel like she would just poo-poo on every other option, which she does do when they're in the car and Anthony's providing other options, just different things to think about. And she's like, nope, no, absolutely not. And then she spits out that she's done everything for him. She compromises for him all the time. And I'm like, when have you ever compromised for this poor man? You could see the defeat in his face. Gosh,
Mhm.
she just walks all over him. Maybe that's what attracted her to him was the fact that she knew that she could walk all over him.
Yeah. So when they're in the car and she's having her little temper tantrum about not renting, I will not rent. I will not. Nice. Hello, little toddler. Anthony was so calm and reasonable about the whole thing. Maybe we should look at this. Maybe there are other options. Maybe there's another house that we could look at that doesn't have an asbestos problem, which is a huge deal and takes a
Mhm.
long time and a lot of money to sort out. So he was totally the voice of reason, steady, pragmatic. And Manon, holy man, she is just off the wall, off the
Rails
rocker.
off her rocker for sure.
Yeah. She just like she wants to be rich right now to be able to buy this house or another house. And she wants to be the breadwinner the way that she was in the US. The way that she comes at Anthony saying that he will never make the kind of money that she does, he will only ever earn pennies compared to what she does, was so incredibly condescending and rude, so patronizing.
Emasculating.
Absolutely. Way to treat your husband like an equal partner. Can you imagine if the tables were reversed and Anthony was saying to his wife, "You'll never earn as much money as I can. You'll never amount to," everybody would be hysterical over this.
I agree.
But Manon is just disgusting. She is truly awful towards Anthony and not giving him a chance to get his job started so that they can have that equal parenting role that is the entire reason why they moved to France. I find laughable at this point. What do you guys really want? You
I
just
think
want to
it's
be on
really what she
TV?
wants in the
Okay.
end.
And what does
So,
she
yeah,
really want?
well, it's definitely the TV. She wants the clout. Because she also spit out that line, I moved to France so that I could thrive and not just survive the way that I was in LA. If this was going to be the thing, I would have just stayed in LA. It wasn't the whole reason why you moved here to save your marriage and not
Yeah.
so that you could amass your wealth. Like,
Yeah.
what are your actual goals? I think she's just so incredibly selfish. She doesn't give a shit about her family. Her kid is just like a trophy piece, and Anthony's just there for the ride.
I don't see any improvement in their lifestyle having moved to France, even though there is free healthcare and there is great childcare and there are opportunities for them to have a more balanced lifestyle. She just seems to be driving them in the absolute same direction that they were going when they were in the States.
Yeah. And again, with the whole marriage thing, you're not even working on your marriage. Here you are completely
Yeah.
shitting all over your husband who definitely doesn't deserve it. You're not taking any responsibility for your choices, for your actions, for your behavior. She's just a disgusting human being. And again, the tears. Can you just stop?
She is quite the character. And
Too
like we
much for
said
me.
from the beginning, same problems, different location. That's all this
Yes.
is. Reading on?
Sure.
This was quite a funny scene. Jenny and Sumit, their first day of real business at the family cafe.
I loved how Sumit took control as the pseudo kitchen manager and tells everyone to assign themselves jobs.
Way to delegate, Sumit.
Way to take control. Way to run a kitchen by the books. What books? And you put Jenny on the coffee? This was so embarrassing and so hard to watch. That customer was so kind and gentle and patient, and I can't blame him for walking away. And here she is. We wasted all this money yesterday. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to make it back today. She doesn't even know how to plug in the machine. She doesn't know where the milk jug is. What?
Her lack of enthusiasm for this job,
For
her lack of
anything.
positivity, her lack of competence, it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
She moves in slow motion. She has no idea where anything is. Didn't you get yourself organized? This is, after all, the only job that you're assigned at the family cafe, taking care of the coffees. I could not believe it. The customer having to point out, "Oh, actually, I think you need to plug that machine in for it to work." Well, duh. And there were three of them. It was Jenny, Dad, and Sumit, all looking at these machines, trying to figure out how to do it. And none of them had the mental capacity to think, perhaps I should look to see if it is attached to an electrical source.
That is step one. Make sure it's plugged in. But
So
no.
simple.
And also, from having worked in restaurants for many, many years in my life, the first thing that you do is you go to your station, you make sure that everything is in working order, that you have everything that you need, that you have spares. You don't just go in blind. That'd be like
No.
opening a bar without seeing, what you actually have on the rails. Do you have ice? Who knows? I'll figure that out later when someone asks for a drink and I have to look for the ice. Like, it was just so boneheaded.
Yeah. Yeah, and if this is the way the business is going to be run, good luck.
And, the family knows how slow she is because even Sadna made a comment, Jenny, you should probably do something other than just, standing there. Yeah, it just because they know how she doesn't work quickly, how she doesn't have that fire under her butt. Why wouldn't they also help her get ready, which would also help them be potentially more successful? Because
Mhm.
they know how useless she is. So why not give her the best opportunity to be successful? No,
Forbid that she
no.
be a self-sufficient woman of 67 years old.
Why?
It's not like she's lived a lifetime and knows how to do anything like make a cup of coffee. And then when Sumit comes to berate her afterwards, complain about her performance, which is justified, instead of saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I will practice more, which she hasn't done, by the way, or could I please have some help just to until I get comfortable doing these tasks? She goes straight into the threatening to go home. Well, I could go home then. What?
Well, everyone here could go home, but they're choosing
Yes.
not to because this is apparently a family cafe. Are you not family? And also, her and Sadness seem to be in a really good spot. Do you really want to test that by just being a petulant senior? Just leaving everyone? I mean,
Yeah.
I really think that they would get so much more done if she wasn't there. Like, at this point, she's just taking up space, she's wasting time, she's wasting resources because she still made that coffee.
Hmm.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine that, the coffee beans are cheap, that the milk is cheap, the electricity is cheap, and who even knows about the water source at this point? Like, there's just no forethought, no responsibility coming from Jenny at all.
And for how much she's been complaining about she wants to move out of the parents' house, she wants to have their own place again, she wants that independence, then why the hell aren't you working your ass off to get that? Why are you being such a dead weight to the rest of the family and criticizing everything about the business, making it worse and giving yourself every opportunity to fail abysmally, exponentially? It's just
And
it's very
expectedly.
yes, we all expected it. She is it's so sad where she is right now and what's happening, and that she can't seem to come out of it. She's drowning in her own incompetence and in her own, like, self-fulfilling prophecy, as most of
Mhm.
these characters do.
Yes,
Yeah. So,
I
practice
agree.
your skill, Jenny. Maybe try that.
Or try to develop one.
Shall we read on?
Alright.
Let's go to Chloe and Jonathan. They're having dinner with mom, talking about the car situation. And this is where mom reveals to Jonathan that she won't be giving Chloe any more money. And I love this, that his response to that is really positive. Like, I think this is
Mhm.
a good thing for Chloe. I think this will force her to grow and to really become an adult, choose what she wants to do and make her own choices. It's like, yeah, that's fantastic. But again, it
I thought
seems to have been from the start, it was Chloe's plan to be sucking from the teat of mom's bank account for the entirety of her stay on Aruba.
Mhm. I thought his response was 100% reasonable. So level-headed of him to be able to acknowledge that and to say that he really hopes that she does learn how to be more self-sufficient. Again, he's every episode, he just seems to be growing on me more and more. But I also found it really interesting, when mom brings up the work permit and what she needs to do to actually get a job. I was floored to find out that it was $600 for every 3 months for a work permit there. What is the hourly wage? How easy would it be to pay that back or, like, to recover the cost of the work permit? What does that even look like? And what is Chloe even capable of doing? Like, how is she gonna sell herself to the government of Aruba saying, "Give me a work permit. These this is what I'm capable of doing. These are my skills. My mom can attest to them." Like, what? How is this going to work for her? I don't know, but it drove me nuts the way that she spoke to her mom. She was like a petulant child, just freaking out, like, your parents are so stupid. They know absolutely nothing. You don't have to listen to a word that comes out of their mouths because they just don't understand. They know nothing about life, and just they know nothing about anything. And that's exactly the way that she came across. And I think that's exactly who she is. She has absolutely no appreciation for her mother, for all the things that she's done. And I think her mom's just done with it. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to see that.
The way that Chloe and her mom were bickering really led me to question how on earth they've worked together in the past. If Chloe was actually employed by her mom at her export business or import business, whatever it is, and was earning the six figures, which I highly doubt now is actually true, how on earth did they manage to make any success of their business with their yap, 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 horrible back and forth? It's so unproductive and unprofessional to be like
Mhm.
that. I would definitely question whether or not they really did work together in the past.
I could actually see her being like a paper pusher in the back, just getting an extra comma on her paperwork because of the nepotism.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But, somebody's job is to actually go over everything that Chloe has done to fix everything and then to submit it. And they probably make about half what Chloe makes because, again, nepotism.
Yeah. Well, that's a lovely thought. There was
Mhm.
something that I wanted to say about the work visa.
She did say something about, what if I get hired? Wouldn't someone cover my work visa or something? And then she also
Yeah.
made the comment about getting the partner
Right.
visa.
Like the family visa where they would have
Mhm.
to be intending to get married or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you were
Partners.
going. I'm just trying to throw out
No,
suggestive
well, where I
words.
was going was it's expensive, right? And she says she has
Uh-huh.
to renew every whatever
3
number of
months.
months, which doesn't sound real to me based on what I read about getting a work visa there, but it could be the case. If she wants to stay on Aruba with a work visa, she has to prove to the government, like I said last time, that she is not going to be a burden on them. So she has to be self sufficient. And there is no way that she can be self sufficient without mom's help. If
Mhm.
mom was going to pretend that she's continuing to pay Chloe her salary from the job that she used to have in Boston, that would be one thing. But we know that mom is not doing that anymore. So Chloe doesn't have an external source of income off Aruba, and she would have to be employed on the island. But again, there's just no way that she's going to be able to make enough money for her to even afford to pay for the visa, however often it needs to be renewed, and to not be a burden on the government by
How much
taking
do you
in.
wanna bet she would go in for an interview before even getting her work permit, somehow swindle her way into getting a job, and then saying, "Oh, by the way, you have to pay for my permit." Like, just with that entitlement, I can see her doing that,
Yeah.
and then being like, "Well, now they have to pay for my permit because I have a job."
I have no idea. It
Not
just
just not
does
smart.
not look good for Chloe in any way,
No.
shape, or form at this point. And then with mom's final solution, her suggestion at the end of the dinner, you guys can both move to Boston and I will support you. What?
Did not see that one coming.
What the heck? Are you actually proposing to move them to the States? I mean, Chloe's no problem. She's American, but to bring Jonathan over on some kind of visa, I don't know what, but just to pay him money to do nothing except live in Boston with your daughter?
I
Huh?
think she threw it out there knowing full well that Johnny would never accept the offer. He
Okay.
loves what he does. He presumably lives in the house that his mom passed away in. Is he gonna leave everything that he's ever known, his connection with his mom? Is he gonna leave all of that for your daughter? Probably not. So this is probably her just saying, "Just come back home and you can have the purse again.
Yeah. Yeah.
This man is not for you. Just come home." I think that's really what she was getting at, because she knew that there was gonna be no way that Johnny would ever just pick up and move to the States. For what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, true enough. But I don't think that Johnny isn't necessarily a bad choice for Chloe. I think he's mature and he's level headed. Like you said, he seems like a cool guy who wants to live in Aruba and have a really nice beach lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that. But Chloe is not ready for that. She's not mature enough. She's not down to earth enough for that kind of life. And I think that's where
Or
mom sees the problem.
or the commitment. Yeah, she probably just knows that Chloe's not ready for any of this, so she's giving her an out. But that could also push her in the opposite direction. Like, well, no, you've cut me off. I don't want to go back to you. Again,
Yeah.
petulant child. I'm going to make it work without you. Sorry, I've
Mm.
got like the head shake going on from that child just to try to defy her mom in that capacity to prove her
Mhm.
wrong. But she's not going to be successful anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, failure. It's coming. Any
Mm-hmm.
final comments for this week?
No, but I'm looking forward to next week when we see more of Family Cafe with people wearing their hairnets in the most ridiculous fashions. I
I must have
think
missed that.
that's
Were they
yeah.
wearing them on their faces or something?
No, Sadna was wearing it like just around here, but then her hair's
Oh,
so thick and it's just like flowing over her shoulders.
yeah.
Like it's gonna be really entertaining. Did they
Yeah.
take any health and safety courses, food safety courses? Probably
Mm,
not. I don't know. So I'm glad this week is done. I look forward to seeing what happens next week. I didn't catch anything else in the previews that was anything too intriguing. Did you?
yeah, well, Johnny is going to be exposed for having taken another woman out on his birthday. I think this was the Florida trip
Ugh.
that Chloe's going to tell mom about that, and then that's going to change mom's opinion of Jonathan.
And I'm pretty sure that was about 8 months ago, which occurred before her move there. It's
Hmm.
not like it's
Yeah.
too recent. She
No.
made the decision to continue on with the relationship and to also move to Aruba.
Yeah.
So, how pissed off can mom really be when your child has made these series of decisions to continue this relationship with this information? Mm, Yep.
Yes. Exciting times ahead. Is that it?
Mm, y- I wouldn't say exciting, but I'm complete with my thoughts.
Excellent. Before we go, if you're enjoying the 90 Day Fiancé Honestly podcast, please subscribe to or give our show a follow. If you have an additional moment, please rate us and help other 90 Day fans to find the show. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.